Hello there! How are you doing today? I hope you're all doing great. Today, we're gonna have a look at a very cool toolkit mod for Minecraft. It is named the Cactus Mod, and it adds a bunch of quality of life features to your game, of course, all completely customizable, that will enhance your experience a lot. So, let me show you what it's all about. Do make sure to double check if you're subbed to the channel. The vast majority of my daily viewers are not, which makes me very sad. So if you could just double check, I would appreciate it so much. So the Cactus Mod is a go-to toolkit for Minecraft Java Edition, which adds a bunch of features to your game. In their own oh so convenient words, they are lightweight, simple to use, very customizable, and actively maintained. And their feature list is absolutely massive. So let's have a look at what this is actually all about. Now you can download the Cactus Mod either from their own website or directly from Modrinf. Of course, I will leave a link to both in the description down below. After that, add it to your fabric or quilt installation, and then you're ready to go. So I just made a completely fresh installation with no mods installed except for the Cactus Mod, just so that when we stumble upon a feature, we know it is a Cactus Mod feature. Of course, I do have my resource packs because I can't live without them. So the Cactus Mod is, in their own words, a toolkit for Minecraft that adds a bunch of quality of life features. I'm most likely not gonna go over every single one of them because there seems to be so much. The first one, for example, is when we right click here on the main menu, we're able to change our background. Would you look at that? We can open the background folder by clicking on this button, and there I can easily add a new background. For example, this beautiful live stream thumbnail, and then we select it, and would you look at that? My Minecraft has already improved so much. Now the main magic happens over here at the Cactus Mod button. When we click on there, oh no, my background stays the same. Please give me the default back. Okay, there we go, that's better. And one of the most important buttons here is the modules. Because unlike your typical quality of life mod, the Cactus Mod allows you to enable and disable certain modules to precisely fit your needs. So when we click on here, you can see that there are a bunch of modules available. So for example, if full bright is something which I want, a mod that allows you to increase the gamma of your game, then you can just enable it, and there we go. It is now enabled. Same thing goes for zooming. Do we want to be able to zoom? Well, then simply turn it on. And if we want to further customize it, we can click on the little wheel here at the right side of the button. So this will open up the general settings. And over here we can choose the keybind. If zooming should be smooth, yes or no. If our hand should be hidden while zooming, yes or no. And then here's the zoom mode. Currently it is on smooth, and we can also set it to magnify. Pretty cool settings. So when I now join the world and I click on C, you will see that I'm able to zoom. I can even zoom in and out using my scroll wheel. Works perfectly fine. Now when we now go to the game menu, you will see that the buttons here have changed a bit as well, because there is now a cactus button, which brings us back to this menu. Now back in modules, you can see there is a lot of stuff here. There is full bright and zooming, there's a TNT timer, waypoints, there are inventory tabs, ad blockers, there's quit confirmation, fly speed, which you can increase, and of course there are other plugins and mods that do this type of stuff, but this mod does it all in one, and you can simply toggle whatever features you need. You can also set a certain feature as your favorite. So let's say you really like the TNT timer, we can just tick this on, and now it has a little star next to it, and it will always show up here in our favorites tab. Back here on the main menu, we also have a settings tab, which simply allows us to change a bunch of settings related to this mod, like for example the command prefix, which by default is set to hashtag, and this allows us to execute certain custom commands in game. So when we execute the command hashtag waypoint, we're over here able to add a waypoint. We can change the color, get a list, remove one. So let's simply add one for now. And I'm gonna call it subscribe, because I would appreciate it a lot if you did. Then we're gonna press enter, and there we go. Waypoint has been set. It is the subscribe waypoint. It will show me exactly how far away we are, and we can now simply go and explore the world, do whatever, and we never have to be scared that we will lose our waypoint over there. Like mentioned, you can also change the color. So hashtag a waypoint. Then we set it to the color blue. So there will be 0000FF, and then the waypoint's gotta be subscribe. We press enter, and there we go. It is blue now. That is really cool and really simple to use as well. Now here on their website, you can see there are way more commands at your disposal, like hashtag binds, which will show all the key binds set by you, copy IP, which will copy the IP of the server that you're on, world manager to change stuff in your world with commands. Now inside of the settings menu, there is also an option to enable a global chat, which is a chat that allows you to chat with everyone that is also using the Cactus mod, which is definitely interesting. If you would want this, you can totally enable it. I'm gonna disable it for now. Here you also have the option to enable or disable the badge that shows in the tab list, because like you can see currently there's a little cactus in front of my name to show everyone else that's also using the Cactus mod that I am using the Cactus mod as well. If you don't want that, we can turn it off. Same thing goes for Cactus Cosmetics. And this is a feature I love. Shows special cosmetics from Cactus players on players who have equipped them. This kind of reminds me of the Essential mod and all the cosmetics that they have. But if you don't want to see them, you can simply toggle them off. And there we go. You won't have to look at them. It is as easy as that. Now all of the other settings here, you can totally go over them. There is a lot to have a look at. But generally, there's just much to customize. Something which this mod also has is profiles. And it is an incredible feature. So over here you can see that currently I'm on the main profile. We're able to load, save, import or export it. But I can also simply create a new profile. And over here I can determine what settings and what things will be stored in this profile. So for example, if I want my modules and my account settings set a certain way, I can do that, save it as a certain profile that I can load when I'm, for example, playing survival. But if I'm just going to play multiplayer with a few friends, I can simply switch profile, which will then disable certain settings, maybe even switch my account. It will enable a few modules that are very handy for that, and bam, you're off to the races. That is really cool stuff, I would say. Now there's also something named content packs. And these are, well, they are content packs. So for example, social, global chats, friends and invites. If you don't want all of the social stuff, you can simply disable that content pack and it will be gone. Then there is also Redstone. Adds more Redstone related tools and utilities. If you never build with Redstone, because you simply don't really care about it, you can disable it and bam, it's gone. Now there's also the title screen customization, the creative tools, and then the world hosting. We can add more things like, for example, remove all realm related features from the game. If we want that, we simply tick it on and now they're gonna be gone. And then here we have a dark mode, a head database, allows more customization of the elements and UIs, and smooth animations. So much to customize here. Now there's also an account switcher, so when we click on here, we're able to add an additional Minecraft account. Currently I'm logged in as Casasora. When I click on add an account, and there we go, Bradshop is now here. Then we click on login, and then you will see that currently I am Bradshop. It's as simple as that. Now there's also a HUD editor, and over here you're able to customize your own HUD. So what we can do here is, for example, click on plus, and then let's go ahead and add coordinates. I'm gonna click on plus, there we go. Here you can see my coordinates are currently on screen. I can put them wherever I want. So let's say in the center, all the way here at the top, looking great. Then I'm gonna add another element. This time I'm gonna add a boss bar. The boss bar is gonna go right here. That's a beautiful location. And then when I resume the game, you can see that my coordinates are now shown there at the top. That looks very, very clean. And when something very unfortunate happens, you know, a certain someone enters the world, you can see that the boss bar now appears there on the left side instead of on the top. So that all works perfectly fine. Oh no. You can see, by the way, here back in the main menu that the realms button is completely gone. We fully removed that from the game. And another very cool thing I want to take a look at is local servers. Because oh yes, we're able to create a local server here on our own system using the Cactus mod. So what I can do is click on create server. Then we can give it a name like a subscribe. Would you look at that? Then we can here choose between vanilla, paper, fabric, or a custom server software. Well, I'm gonna go for paper. We're gonna choose 1.21.11 and then we click on create. And now it is gonna start doing its thing. There we go. Server has been created. We can now click on start and this will now boot the server on our own system. So when we click here on the console, you can see that it's working. It is actively starting the server. The paper console also shows up here. And all we now have to do is make it so that our friends can join. If they're on the same local network as you, they can join already using localhost. If your friends are not on the same network, you can either set up a port forward for the default Minecraft port, or you can simply watch my tutorial I made about play.gg, which makes it so your friends can join a Minecraft server that's running locally on your own system without you having to port forward whatsoever. Very cool stuff. Definitely check it out. out. Now this mod also has something called macros, which allows certain actions to be executed as soon as you press just on a single button. So we can create a new macro, we can give it a name, for example, day, and then we execute a command, for example, time set day, and then we bind it to a key, like for example the is button on my keyboard. There we go. Then we click on done, we join a world, let's execute time set night. There we go, night it is. And now I will click on the is button and suddenly it's day. Very cool stuff. Really clean, really simple. Now screenshots, there's also a separate tab for that, which means if I take a beautiful screenshot, when we now click on the screenshots button, it will show up here. Ooh, what a beautiful man. And we can from here easily delete it, upload it, or open the folder where it is stored so you can share it. Now the last feature I want to have a look at today is the share worlds feature, which essentially is E4MC built into the Cactus mod. So when in this single player world I click on escape and I then go to share world, we're here able to open either to LAN, which is cool, but we can also simply host our world from here. So when I go to host, there's here an option to open to LAN, but I can also change this to open to public. You can see it autofills a domain for us, breadshop.cactusmod.xyz, looking great. We even have a whitelist here, so we can completely customize who can join our server. And after that, we can simply click on publish world, and then in theory, everyone using this custom domain is gonna be able to join. Now, unfortunately, this feature is still kind of buggy. You can see here when I do enter the IP, both with or without port, it simply will not show up whatsoever. The LAN world is up though, so it actually hosted it as a LAN, even though I wanted it to host it on that domain. So that seems kind of buggy, but on the Cactus Mod website, you can also see that currently the world hosting feature is still in active development and not available for everyone. So it seems like I simply don't have access to that yet, but it's gonna roll out to more people as time goes on. Now here on the main menu, there's also a give feedback button, which just allows you to give feedback in case something is not working correctly. And then there's also a cosmetics button, doesn't actually show any cosmetics, and it also doesn't give me the opportunity to add any cosmetics. So maybe that is something which still has to happen sometime in the future. Even when the show cactus cosmetics button is enabled, it doesn't show anything here, so I'm not really sure what that's about. There also doesn't seem to be a shop anywhere around. There are notifications here. There's also information about Cactus. There is a Cactus add-ons button, which currently also shows nothing. But according to the Cactus Mod website, it is totally possible for people to make add-ons for the Cactus Mod, which you can probably install through this folder. And like that, developers can build on top of what this mod already offers. Now, there may be a bunch of features included in the Cactus Mod, which we've not had a look at in this video. There is just a lot of stuff. For example, here in single player, you're able to favorite worlds, if you want, by simply clicking on the little star, but you can even change the entire world directory. So if you have multiple different folders where you save your worlds in, you can just change up the directory here, and then it will show you different worlds here and allow you to save worlds in different locations. Also a very cool feature, and I've probably missed a bunch more, but I feel like the Cactus Mod is really promising, and it offers so much quality of life features already that I can't wait to see what the future will bring. Just found that on their Modrave page, they talk about add-ons and they're not being an official store right now. It is currently on their bucket list, but some other things have priority. And if you join their community Discord, you can see and add some community-made add-ons. So very interesting project I wanted to show off. If you're interested in checking it out for yourself, I will of course leave a link in the description down below. With that being said, that's gonna be it for today. Do make sure to subscribe to the channel and join my Discord. Thank you so much, channel members. And then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, see you later, bye bye.